Alright, so here's the answers for your homework from yesterday. 1 was B, 2 was A, 3 was C. Then down here, I just described the differences on this, that it was shifted 4 left, and then the domain, x is greater than or equal to a -4, and y is greater than or equal to 0. Alright, you can get the domain and the range by graphing it and looking at your picture. Alright, and then 8 is right here, 11 is right there, and 14 is right there. And then 16 was 1, 1, and 0, 0. 17, there's your answer for that. And then 18 was just that. All right, and then the last one, between 1993 and 1994, I got 1993.6. And here's the work for that. All right, so that was yesterday's homework. Now, getting on with today's work. All right, today's work we have 7.6, solving radical equations. All right, again, we're just really doing inverse operations, which we've been doing. So this one, we have the third root of x minus 4 equals 0. So what we would do is, again, isolate that. So move this to the other side. So we would add 4. Get the third root of x equals 4. And now to get rid of the third root, we do the third power. And we get x equals 4 to the third is 64. And there's our answer. All right. This one, now we got an exponent that is a fraction, so 3/2, so a rational exponent. So we have to isolate this, what has the 3/2 power, so that means we got to get rid of this 2 first. So we divide by 2. Gives me x to the 3/2 power equals 125. Now I get rid of the 3/2 power by doing the reciprocal power. So I have to flip it. So I got to do the 2/3 power. 2/3 power. These cancel out. And I get x equals 125 to the 2/3 power, which is 25. All right, there's my solution. All right, and now we deal with the ones with the radical. Again, we got a radical. We have to isolate this, so we have to get rid of this first. So minus 2 gives me the square root of 4x minus 7 equals 3. Now we get rid of the radical by squaring both sides. Again, square root, the opposite is square. So they cancel each other out. So it leaves me with 4x minus 7 equals 3 squared, which is 9. And then it becomes an easy equation for me to solve. Just add 7, get 4x equals 16, divide by 4, and get x equals 4. All right. All right, next one. It's example 4. We're going to solve an equation with 2 radicals. All right, so what we have to do is we have to isolate one of them. So I'm going to isolate this one, move this to the other side. So I'm going to add 2 root x. All right, add 2 root x to both sides. So that gives me the square root of 3x plus 2 equals 2 root x. All right, now we're going to get rid of this square root. We're going to square. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do the other side. This side, the square and the square root cancel each other out. So it leaves me at 3x plus 2 equals. Now this side, we have to distribute the 2, the square, to the 2. So we got to do 2 squared, which is 4. Then we got to distribute it to the square root of x. And the square and the square root cancel out. So it leaves me with 4x. Then I just subtract 3x. And I get x equals 2. That's my answer. All right. Now, one of the things you got to worry about these is we have extraneous solutions. All right. We've seen this before, and you will see extraneous solutions. So just be aware of those. All right. So this problem is going to have an extraneous solution. All right. So again, we have a square root here. We have to have it isolated. So we're going to get rid of that. So we square and we square. Now this side, the square root and the square cancel out, so it leaves me a 2x. This side, we have to FOIL it out. Don't forget, you cannot distribute. So we have to FOIL this out. FOILing this out, we get x squared minus 8x plus 16. All right? Now we have to subtract 2x. Subtract 2x. We get x squared minus 10x plus 16 equals 0. Now we factor this out. Two sets of parentheses equals 0. X is in the front. Signs are both the same and they're both negative. And the factors of 16 that add up to 10 would be 8 and 2. And then we set x minus 2 equal to 0. We solve that. We get x equals 2. We set x minus 8 equals 0. We solve that. We get x equals 8. All right? And then we check our solution. So x equals 2. Check that. So that gives me 2 minus 4 equals the square root of 2 times 2. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. The other side, 2 times 2 is 4. Square root of 4 is 2. So we get negative 2 equals 2, which is false. So that is not a solution. All right. So then try the other one. X equals 8. All right. Plug that into our problem. So that gives us 8 minus 4 equals the square root of 2 times 8. 8 minus 4 is 4. 2 times 8 is 16. Square root of 16 is 4. 4 equals 4. So there's our solution. X equals 8. All right, and then you got a U-try problem. All right, so if you want, you can go ahead and pause the video, and then I'm going to do it, and you'll see I'm done. All right, so you can pause now. All right, so this is what you should do. All right, we have x minus 4 to the 3/2 power. Again, this is isolated, so we're going to get rid of that 3/2 power, so we do the 2/3 power. 2/3 power. All right, they cancel out, so I get x minus 4 equals negative 6 to the 2/3 power. And then we're going to add 4, and we get x equals 4 plus negative 6 to the 2/3 power. And if I want an approximate answer, because that's not going to come out as perfect, that's not a perfect cube. All right, so I would do this in the calculator. So I would put in here the negative 6 in parentheses to the, and then 2/3 power. All right, so that's how I put it in there. Negative 6 to 2/3 power, and then I hit enter, and then I would do plus 4. And that gives me 7.30. All right, so approximately 7.30 would be the answer. All right, or this is the exact answer. All right, and then the last one, we got the 4th root of 2x. We subtract the 4th root of x plus 3 from both sides to isolate. All right, and that gives me a negative 4th root of x plus 3. And then we do the 4th power. We do the 4th power, and I get 2x equals x plus 3. All right. And then subtract x, and we get x equals 3. But if you plug this in, you're going to find out that that is not a solution. It's an extraneous solution. So this problem actually has no solution. All right, and then you have your homework. All right, your homework looks like this worksheet, but I whited out a lot of problems in here, but I want you to do what the problems that I did not white out for homework for tonight. That's it.